Hey everybody, here is the video for the signature assignment. This is going to comprise your final, and you're going to be creating an infographic and writing a reflection and including a bibliography. All right, so let's dive in. So the first part of the signature assignment module, or module 8, is this section right here. And it's all on what is an infographic and examples of infographics. So you can pop through these different resources. I have a couple of videos. And the really important thing is that an infographic has data or data information. It uses visuals to tell a story. So those are the essential components of an infographic. I have an example of an infographic in infographic format. So again, it's data, it's sorted some way, and it's arranged and presented visual to represent some kind of a story or piece of information. Here's another infographic on the relevance of infographics in education. And then finally, there's a link to a resource here from Kathy Schrock's Guide to Everything. And if you click on this link, it will take you to her page on infographics as creative assessment. And there's all kinds of information in here. So there's videos with examples, there's how-tos, there's a ton of other examples. There's different things about color and using different graphics and all that kind of stuff. So this is a really important page to spend some time on. All right, so let's get into the actual assignment. So it's called a signature assignment because CSUCI has developed a model for assessment and evaluation, and they call it a signature assignment because what they want to be able to demonstrate is that students at this college are meeting the general education goals and outcomes set by the college. So that's one of the components of this final. So it's not just a final for your class for a grade, but it's also to demonstrate that you've met certain general education goals. So as I said before, your final product or outcome is going to be an infographic. So here is an example of an infographic again. So I've got lots of ones for you. So basically your timeline, and obviously I know I'm posting this a little bit ahead of time. I wanted to give you a little bit more time. But essentially all of next week is working on this final assignment. And you want to remember that an infographic is data and it tells a story with visuals. Oh, I need to change this. This is not the 5th. This is going to be 5th, 6th, 7th. Sorry about that. I'll change that. But we will have a work day where I just open it up to you and you can come in and ask questions however you want. Your final class is the 14th and it starts at 4. So remember that it starts at 4, not 4:30, all right? And you are required to be there to present your signature assignment. All right. So here's the section on the general ed requirements, the goals and outcomes. And for this course and for this signature assignment, we're working off of 2 goals. The first one is find and critically examine information. So you need to be able to demonstrate that you can access needed information effectively and efficiently and evaluate information and its sources critically. And then you need to be able to communicate effectively using a variety of formats by using relevant tools in various contexts to present and or integrate ideas. So all of these components are built into this final signature assignment. If you want some more details on how these goals are evaluated, you can check out those rubrics. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be turning in the same assignments. You're only doing it once, but you're going to be turning it into 2 places. One, you're going to turn it into Blackboard, and that is going to be for the grade for the class. And then 2, you're going to turn it into Folio CI, where it'll be evaluated based on these general education rubrics. The components of your signature assignment are these 3 things. You need an infographic, you need a reflection, and you need a bibliography. What you're going to do is you're going to create one document and you're going to include all these components to it. And that's what you are going to submit both to Blackboard and to Folio CI. All right. So here are the details of the assignment. So we have been studying different 21st century literacies over the course of the semester. You've learned how to find and filter, research, evaluate, curate, and all those good things. And now you're going to pull those all together by doing those steps and creating an infographic out of the process. So you have these different digital literacy topics here to choose from. So internet safety, privacy and security, relationships and communication, cyberbullying and digital drama, digital footprint and reputation, self-image and identity, information literacy, or creative credit and copyright. So the process to go through is to pick one of those topics, and you can start by looking at a few and then picking one that you're most interested in. But once you pick your topic, you're going to research that topic. Okay, remember all the things we did with finding, filtering, how to search, how to evaluate information for validity, all that good stuff. So once you start researching your topic, you need to determine what your story is, and you're going to need to find data that supports your story. Okay, so you do need some data, like what percentage, how many out of the population. So you're going to need some numbers in there, okay, not just narrative. Then you need to make sure that you figure out who your audience is. So who are you going to gear this towards? Okay, and then you're going to think about how do you need to put it together in order to meet the needs of this particular audience. You're going to evaluate and curate those resources. Okay, so you're not going to just slap everything together. You're going to need to do some evaluation. You're also going to have a bibliography where you cite your sources. And then you're also going to pull that all together to create the infographic. I have made a doc template right here, and if you click on it, and when you're logged into CI, it will take you to a template. Let me pause this and bring that template up. Hold on. Okay, so when you click on that link and you're logged in, you're going to get to this. And then if you just click make a copy, it will make a copy and you have a template that you can use. So you'll see that I want you to change the title. Let me see if I can move this up. So you want to change this title to make it relevant for your particular document. You're going to put your name, date, the title, and here you're going to link to your infographic, which is going to be online. So you need to make sure that your infographic gets published. And then you're going to do your reflection. And these are the reflection questions you're going to need to answer. You can either write a reflection or you can record a reflection using a screencast tool like I'm using for this. So Screencast-O-Matic is a great tool, and I have that in the tools section. And then finally, you're going to add a bibliography, and I want you to use APA format. All right. So again, here are the reflection questions that you're going to need to answer, and you can use either a written reflection or you can do a combination of video and written reflection. And I want you to talk about what strategies you use to find information. So remember those strategies of using the minus sign, quotes, all those strategies we learned when searching and finding information on the internet. Did you use databases or just Google, stuff like that? You're going to discuss your sources and how you chose them and for your artifact. How did you determine whether they were valid or relevant? So what were those things that, why did you choose the ones you did? Who is your audience and what did you do specifically in your infographic to meet the needs of your audience? What tool did you choose? What were your biggest challenges and successes? So you want to be specific about that as well. And then you're going to have a bibliography of sources. All right. And here are the two rubrics. Here's the rubric to evaluate the infographic, and here's the rubric for your reflection. So in this particular section, this is where you're going to turn your Blackboard assignment in. So this is, you'll see this is an assignment submission. Basically, this is a repeat of all the information. And what you're going to do is when you're done with your document, you're going to click here on Browse My Computer, and you're going to find that Word file, and you're going to upload it, and you're going to submit that here. The next page just talks about, gives you a little bit more information about turning into Folio CI. Essentially, when you're in Folio CI, what you're going to be doing is you're going to sign into your MyCI page. You're going to come down to Folio CI. I'm going to click there, and my internet picks up here. So then this is going to open for the TK20. You're going to come over here to courses, and under courses taken, you're going to find your course here, which is going to either be Comp 110 or LS 110, and depending on the section, that's going to show up here for you. And then you're going to click on this course, and then it'll walk you through. Basically, all you're going to do is upload that same Word document again, just like you uploaded it for the Blackboard. All right, in this section, you'll see some different tools and some examples. So some of the tools you could choose to use for an infographic is here. Piktochart is pretty easy to use. Easly is also another one, and Canva. There's tons of other tools out there, but I found that those three meet just about everybody's needs. And then if you want to do a video reflection, Screencast-O-Matic is great. It's really easy. And I'll go ahead and see if I can find a video on how to use Screencast-O-Matic. Oh, I got it right there. Screencast-O-Matic. It'll take you there, and you can learn how to use it. It's super easy. Now, don't forget that next Wednesday during our class time, I will be there, and I'm going to show you how to use Piktochart, Easly, and Canva. I'm going to go over those three, and I can even go over Screencast-O-Matic if you want to. So it's drop in, but if you want some help or just have questions, come on by and I will help you out. Otherwise, I will see you the following Wednesday at 4 o'clock for our final presentation. Bye.